Good evening everyone, Ragewood here, back with another Godforge video. It's Friday, and so you know what that means, it's time for Friday reveals, and amazingly, I am getting this out on Friday, after a couple of weeks of doing it on a Tuesday and Wednesday the following week. We're back, we are on time, and I'm trying something a little bit different with this intro, so let me know what you think in the comments below. And without further ado, let's get into it. Ah, what a beautiful day in the African desert. Wait a second, what's that? Frank! So if it wasn't already apparent from the thumbnail, now you know we are taking a look at the Egyptian god of the sky himself, Horus. Now, Horus is an interesting character from Fateless's point of view, because the original concept art that we're seeing here is not how he looks now, and that just shows you sort of the development of a character, especially when being created at an early stage like this. So I'm excited to go through the journey with you guys. Now, you might have already picked up some bits from previous videos that Simon has done. I'll link some of them below if you're unsure. But here we have the initial sort of concept, if you will, for Horus. But before we delve too deep into Fateless's side of things, I'll just give you a little bit of background on the Lord of the Skies himself. So, what was he the god of? So, he was known as sort of the sky god, one of the most important deities in Egyptian mythology, but he was also the god of kingship, healing, protection, the sun, and the moon, because they were both sort of in the sky, if you will. Now, he was the son of Isis and Osiris, and one of the most sort of common stories, if you will, is sort of the constant battle between Osiris and Set. Now, Set was his uncle, the brother to Osiris, and Set murdered Osiris. And then there was this sort of constant battle between the two, therefore. Horus lost his eye in one of those battles. And that's where sort of the symbolism from the Eye of Horus comes from, as well as the healing part as well. Set was the god of the desert and things, and generally not a nice person, but I'm sure we will come back to that at some point. Horus eventually grew up, challenged Set into the battle to avenge his father's death. But if you'd like to see this in a visual form, there was a film that came out 2015, 2016 called The Gods of Egypt, which is a very cool depiction. It has people like Jared Butler in there, as well as the guy who plays Jaime Lannister in Game of Thrones. Can't remember his name, but he plays Horus. So if you want a sort of a slightly over-dramatized version of that story, then do go check out that film. So, as I said, the initial concept of Horus is here, and I have to say I actually kind of liked this initial concept for Horus, with the wings and things like that, the sort of the falcon mast they went for, those piercing blue eyes there, although in theory you would have one red and one white to sort of symbolize the sun and the moon. But that is, I say, what he looked like, and he had this sort of crown staff here, and they sort of had this sort of heraldry round the outside. However, from there, I forget who the art director's called for Fateless, but he went back to Magic Media and said, look, what if we had him a bit more, girthy and fierce and muscly, you know, a bit more intimidating, if you will. And so he did this sort of line drawing over the top, which he's done. Dane? Is it Dane? He's done quite a few of them now. Again, if you've watched the Fakeless videos, then you would have seen some of those as well. And the Magic Media will then adapt it from there. And obviously over here is the sort of reference point that they have here, quite clearly showing sort of the falcon's head and sort of the body or torso of a male. From there, this concept art piece came to be, and I think we can all agree it is really, really good, and actually looks similar to the one in the film Egyptian Gods, so there you go. But much fiercer, much more intimidating. So this sort of golden crown up the top here, these feathered pauldrons, and sort of a bit of symbolism from the sun in the middle here with his wings sort of so representing the sky god right there. You know, orange abs, mean gauntlet and claws right there. So a very grand look there about him. Now, he was considered sort of the ruler of Lower Egypt, Set was Upper Egypt, and a lot of the pharaohs also sort of identified with him, so it makes sense that he has this sort of very grand look about him there. From there, they continued that concept art piece, if you will, again showing the Shen ring as a reference for the wings. This is an actual artifact, looks very cool, and that's where they got the design from. So the left wedge eye, or the Eye of Horus, only on the left. It'd be cool if they can get that in somewhere. I don't know where they would put that, but it is sort of considered, say, a very big symbol in a lot of Egyptian mythology. Cool little side view there. His boots, and then this is the back view, and as she quite rightly says, he will have two wings, but they've just done it one side, just for space on here. And something else that we've seen evolve is his weapon. So we've gone from that sort of wooden looking style to this sort of mean looking warglaive staff. You've got this axe head here, which you can also use the beak or reverse half as a weapon itself. The golden eye, again, it'd be cool if the other one would be white to represent the moon as well. That'd be sick. But very cool looking staff, and at the bottom end as well, you've got almost like a double-ended bladed staff there. Very deadly weapon, very cool looking hero. Then we come to the weapon in sort of 3D now, and say it just looks great. Looks very cool, very mean. Obviously, you'll have the colouring around it, and we'll see some of that in a moment. And here we are. So here are the different sort of looks of the staff, or potential looks. We got this sort of rainbow feel at the top here, and the pink beak. Now, for me, I don't know if the sort of the rainbow colour was needed per se, but you know, I say, who am I to judge? It's just not my personal taste, but there we are. Looks super sweet there. The golden shaft handles there, and we've got it in the various looks. Okay, so we don't have a moon and a sun eye, but again, that's okay. You know, what I like is not necessarily what everyone else likes, and that is fine. But there's no denying, say, how good it looks and the amount of effort that has gone into create this piece. I also like, say, the sort of shading on the lighting areas on it as well. That looks really cool. We then come to the circular sort of view of Horus, like he's on like a spinning pedestal, spinning around here, and he looks so good, doesn't he? I like that. So they've got like these mummy wraps around his neck now. that looks cool. Say you've got the sort of scarab beetle with the sort of the orange there, and just I say looks wicked. Mean pauldrons. You've got the wings at the back. Look a bit like Falcon from Captain America. Looks so cool. Now we get to the juicy stuff. So unlike some of the other sort of hero reveals we've had before, we've now been given the attack animations. Now, say normally Simon has shown this in the ones that are in Engine or with King Arthur, but we've not had the opportunity to do it ourselves. Again, I'm just super excited. This is going to be his basic attack, guys. And it's 30 seconds. We're just going to enjoy it all together, alright? Oh, that's cool. That's sort of over the head, across body chop right there. This is it from another angle. You can see the movement in the wings and things there. Wicked. So that sort of cross chop there coming into the collarbone looks wicked. And this is without the VFX, right? And we've seen how good that they look for some of the other heroes. And this is Egyptian legendary. Now it's interesting. It'll be cool to see what way they go with this. In my mind, I'm sort of envisioning one of two things. So he is sort of the Lord of the Sky sort of thing. So potentially just sort of some sort of like wind gust as he comes over the top and through. That would be pretty cool to see. But he's also sort of associated with the sun a bit like Ra. Now, Ra is his grandfather. Or great-grandfather, one of the two. So you could have like an orange VFX as well, I think would also work quite nicely with him. So now we're going to move on to what I believe will be his core ability. So here we go. His core ability. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's so cool. So, I mean, I don't need to describe it. You can see it there. We've got that sort of hop up, the jump, and the spear down. Again, I imagine, like, as we coming down with the spear, maybe you're going to see sort of the ground come up a little bit, similar to, I think it's Brunhild, perhaps. And that jump up is so cool, and I love they've nailed the sort of the flow from the gown, as it will. Like, as that initial sort of wing pump happens, you can see sort of the flow of the robing down the bottom there. Again, credit to Fateless and the Magic Media team for not leaving any detail out, as it were. Like, to me, that matters a lot. Like, if we play it again, there you go. Oh, that's a cool look. As you can see, he jumps, you got that flare up. I think that's really cool. And then that imposing stab down on us. Looks so good. Oh no, okay, and now I can see the close up. We do still have the multicolored thing. Doesn't actually look as bad, actually, as I thought in game. No, not against that after all. Got it from a couple more angles. That looks like the first one. Maybe. I'll let it play, keep playing. Okay, so this is a different angle, just. But yeah, again, you're going to have the wind gust, I imagine, as he jumps up, and then bang! Down onto the opponent. That looks wicked. That looks so good. And now let's go to the ultimate. So, the ultimate I did actually watch once as I flicked through it, it came up, so to speak. And again, I'm assuming this is the ultimate. I don't actually have any context on that. Now, who knows what it's going to be? You'll see. I'll play it through, and then we'll sort of discuss how I envisage it's going to be, alright? So he jumps up, he holds his staff together, wings out loud, and then comes back down, okay? Now, we don't actually see a chop. Okay, as he jumps up, he holds his sort of axis stave aloft, and then comes back down. So what does that tell me? All right. So if I pause it here, what I believe this is going to be is some sort of powerful ranged attack. Okay. Possibly AoE. Who knows? But that's what I'm envisaging. Okay. And I'll take it one step further, okay? I'll pause it here. I will sort of take a screenshot and then I'll Photoshop this pose into something that I think would look super cool, which probably won't happen. But if you've ever played Dragonair, you'll know that when they do their ults, some of them have like a cinematic sort of built into it. Now, there's no way they could possibly do it, but I'll sort of show you what I've got in my mind's eye, my Horus eye. So here we are. Okay, so once again, Horus jumping up, and then this is what I imagine seeing in the background, okay? Something like this. As he jumps up, I know it's very pixelated, apologies for that. But that's what I'm imagining, right? He's jumping up, wings aloft, and like this massive, like, sand blast or something coming out from behind him to strike the foes. You know, whether it's the sun or, so say, sand, a massive gush of wind. This is kind of like the cinematic vibe I'm getting, and oh, I'm so excited to see it. I should be a game designer. My imagination is wasted. And that is where I leave you today. So, that is Horus. That is Horus in the game. Those are his ability animations. So, let me know what you think. Do you think I'm right with sort of the ultimate being like a ranged magic blast? Do you think he'll come down with some sort of hammer strike? Maybe it's not finished yet. Let me know in the comments down below. Once again, thank you for taking the time to watch this. Take care. Look after yourselves. Work hard. But as always, play harder. And I'll see you in another one soon. Cheers.